few minutes more for others to join.
So we'll give it just one more minute, right at 6.
Okay.
We already have 25 participants in.
Okay. So Dr. Amarnath, about 60 people have registered. So we can give a few more minutes, a couple of minutes more for others to join.
I don't think we can hear Dr. Amarnath.
Now?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Video is okay?
Yes, sir. Perfectly fine.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Good.
So, Saurav, Kapil, why don't we let Dr. Amarnath share the screen because he can control the flow.
Done, sir. We can. So yes, sir. We can start. So 26 a year already.
Okay, so I'm sure more will be joining us shortly, right?
Yes, sir. Some more will be joining. I don't think we should make others wait.
Okay, fine.
We'll start right on time.
Thank you. So quickly, I'll give a brief introduction of Dr. Raja Amarnath. This is Vijay Ramatla, one of the time members. Want to express my gratitude to Dr. Amarnath on behalf of TAI. He is an extremely busy man. He is in the forefront of COVID-19 fight. So, and it is amazing that he agreed to come and spend some time with us to talk about the COVID-19, the psychological issues and things like that. So I won't spend too much time wasting. I would rather have Dr. Amarnath speak. In terms of introduction of Dr. Amarnath, he's a highly qualified doctor. He is an authority in the field of pulmonology and critical care medicine. He is the clinical director of SIPACA. He pioneered the concept of rural critical care services. He is also the professor and head of pulmonary medicine at Sri Balaji Medical College and Hospitals and director of critical care services in several hospitals. In the current crisis times, he is functioning as a senior consultant at Apollo Hospitals, Vanagram, Chennai, and Apex COVID unit in the region, and spearheading COVID-19 management across several hospitals. As a director of SIPACA Institute of Research, he leads a team of researchers in the fields of clinical sciences and ancient Indian remedies. As a person of vast clinical knowledge, subject expert in the field of pulmonology and critical care, and a researcher in ancient philosophy, he makes the rarest combination of a genius clinical brain, passionate, valiant heart, and a magical pair of healing hands. So with that said, I thank Dr. Raja Amarnath for having joined us. I thank everybody. This is going to be a very informative session, very productive session. I'll hand it over to Dr. Raja Amarnath. Dr. Raja Amarnath, thank you so much. It's over to you, sir.
Good evening, sir. First of all, thank you so much for a very kind introduction. Is my voice okay, sir? Volume is okay?
Absolutely. It's loud and clear. Thank you, sir.
So how many participants are there currently?
We have 32 already, sir.
So what is their basic background, sir? Who are they?
So these are all small business owners, SMEs and MSMEs mostly.
Okay. So if I am on English, is that okay with you?
It shouldn't be a problem, sir. We can have it.
Thank you. I'm sorry for asking this because sometimes people call and the middle of the talk they ask saying that they are not able to follow what we are talking.
I get it.
Better I clear it off. Okay. Good evening, all of you, whoever have joined the today's meeting. I'm Dr. Raja Amarnath. I'm currently going to talk about the current scenario of COVID, and should we worry or should we not worry? If at all we worry, what are the steps to be taken? A couple of years ago, one of my coach told me that any information that you receive will have two main ingredients. One is data, second is emotion. So regarding COVID also, whatever we receive, we will also have both the ingredients. One is data, second is emotions. Although we should respect and emotions and give its due share of importance, but data is also very, very important for us to understand the current scenario and to proceed with it. So as such, until yesterday evening, this is the current scenario of COVID in India and also world. In the world, till now, we had 27 lakhs of people affected with COVID, out of which almost 1,80,000 people died of COVID, which accounts for 7%. And almost 25% of people have recovered. Remaining people are under quarantine, 65%. That makes around 17.5 lakhs. India has been fortunate enough so far, God is great. And our total cases have been less than 25,000. And total deaths have been 720, which accounts for 3% roughly. Whereas world average is 7% death rate, the Indian average mortality rate is only 3%. I want you to remember these numbers, 3% and 700. As we go along, this data is very, very important for us to understand the other aspects. These are the national TB data starting from 1990 to 2018, 2016. So if you see, every year, TB has been affecting almost 20 to 30 lakhs of people every year, and it is accounting for almost 4 to 5 lakhs of deaths, 4 to 5 lakhs. Going back again, I told you to remember, COVID has caused 720 deaths so far in this 3 months time. Okay. When you look at the swine flu has been exactly like COVID. It has come in 2008 and 9, almost a decade ago, which has created a havoc in both in corporate industry as well as in the healthcare industry. The fatality ratio of H1N1 has been 7.5%. So currently, average mortality rate of COVID worldwide has been 7%. In India, it has been 3%. Now, if you look at the number of deaths due to H1N1, you may see the data here. In 2019, last year, almost 19,000 people have been infected and 605 people died because of H1N1, which is otherwise called as swine flu. I want you to note down that there has been vaccine in place for swine flu for the last almost 10 years. In spite of vaccine, this has been the number with regarding swine flu. If you look at the data from road traffic accidents in India, every single year, almost 1.5 lakhs of people have been dying. In 2016, it touched around 1.5 lakhs because of road traffic accidents. If you look at the age group wise road traffic accident deaths, it has taken almost major share from the age group between 18 to 35 years. So the most productive age group has been affected because of this, causing 1.5 lakhs of deaths every year. Again, I am bringing you to the point that so far COVID has caused 720 deaths in India. If we look at the suicide rate in India, every year almost okay, in lakhs, almost more than a lakh of people are dying from suicide every year in India. In 2018, it has touched almost 1.5 lakhs of people died just because of suicide. And yesterday there was a statement saying that if you look at 2019, data of April 1st to April 15th, total number of cumulative deaths in India because of various reasons. From, it can be suicide, it can be accident, it can be from other diseases, it can be from, even homicide. The number of deaths have been actually less in India compared to last year. I want you to look at this very attentively. Ischemic heart disease, heart problem, heart attack. In the year 2013, it has killed 15 lakhs of people. Every year, on an average, 15 to 20 lakh people in India die because of heart problem. And because of lung problem, almost 8 to 10 lakhs die. And because of stroke, that is, paralysis, we call it, around 7 to 8 lakh people die. And as I told you before, tuberculosis causes almost 5 lakh people, 5 lakh deaths every year. And again, so far, COVID has caused 720 deaths in India. If you look at the burden of cardiovascular problems, that is heart attack, stroke, things like that, okay? You see in 2016, 28 lakh people died because of, cardiovascular problems, okay? Now, if you look at the stroke, that is the paralysis, you may see that 1 in 5 men, 1 in 6 males, men, and 1 in 5 women get affected by stroke, that is paralysis, in their lifetime. And in paralysis, so every year because of this, you have almost 7 million people, they die because of stroke in India. 7 million means, you just imagine what is it, the number, okay? Now, coming back to COVID. So as I said before, so far in India, 23,000 people have been affected, and only 720 people have died from COVID. So the number, if you look at it, when you analyze the data separately and emotions separately, data is 2%, the burden is 2%, whereas emotions are 98% regarding COVID. But that does not mean that we should, deeper aspects of psychological issues regarding COVID data, comparing data with psychological, where we are worried. So what kind of people are getting affected? For example, when we say that, out of 23,000 people, 720 people died, what kind of people are they? If you look at this, hospitalizations from COVID, who are requiring admissions with problems like, breathing difficulty, things like that. So if you look at this, almost any patient with previous underlying clinical condition, something like hypertension, BP, obesity, diabetes, heart problem, asthma, neurological problems, kidney problems. COPD is a lung condition, chronic lung condition. These are the people who are requiring admissions whenever they get affected with COVID, not the healthy young people and healthy people. If we look at the other data that, who are at risk of death from coronavirus, you see anybody above age of 80 years, out of them, 14% of people died of coronavirus. 70 to 79 years of age, 8%. 60 to 69 years of age, 3.6%. So if you look at anybody less than 50 years of age, the risk is actually less than 1%. These are the age-wise statistics. The same thing even across different countries, especially countries like Italy and China, which have been affected very greatly. So even there, the same scenario exists. People above 80 years of age are at the highest risk. The risk is reduced as the age reduced from 80 years to 40 years. So less than 50 years of people are actually no need to worry about, not much worry for them with regarding coronavirus. So in New York, the analysis showed that the risk factors for mortality, who are the people who died with corona? People with hypertension, uncontrolled BP, uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled lipids like cholesterol, heart problems, kidney problems. Of course, dementia is a brain problem, COPD is a lung problem, cancer people, Atrial fibrillation is again heart problem, heart failure. So people with elderly age group and also people with uncontrolled chronic great data you may see from the data from China. If you look at Chinese data, again the same scenario. So American data and Chinese data are also correlating, saying majority of people who died have had heart problems, diabetes, chronic respiratory problems, hypertension, blood pressure, cancer, things like that. So what is happening in India? This data is latest. It is until yesterday, 23rd April, updated data. Okay. So if you see the arrow mark shows India. This is what people have been saying, that you have to cut down the peak of the curve. People said you have to reduce the peak of the curve. It has to become a slope. It has to become a plateau. So if you see Chinese data, I don't know whether my cursor you are able to see my cursor. If you look at the Chinese data above in blue color line, at about 1 lakh people, 1 lakh confirmed cases, it has already plateaued. Whereas there are no new cases, much increasing in number. Whereas India is currently entering into its third stage. So that is why Indian graph is like this. It is rising. Similarly, if you look at the daily confirmed cases, that indicates that the acceleration, the previous one showed speed, this shows acceleration. So daily confirmed cases, is that increasing? Look at the United States on the top. It is not increasing. It has got already it has been beaten up, it has taken its toll, and now it is actually stabilizing. Daily cases are not increasing, but the total number of cases are increasing. Whereas in India, we are still like this. That is the reason why Indian data are showing that every single day the number of cases are increasing, because it is following the natural curve. We have to go through that. There is no other option for people. Similarly, deaths, total deaths, what is going on? If you look at China, it has already touched its peak, and there are no more new deaths coming in in China. Whereas in Italy, in the United States, it has already touched its peak. It is slowly getting into the stabilization. India is on rise. Rise is because it is now entering into that stage. That is why the numbers will add. Probably until next 1 or 2 months time, these numbers will certainly increase. Again, number of daily confirmed deaths. This shows acceleration. Look at United Kingdom, look at France, look at Italy, look at USA. All those things which are on the top of the list here, they all have already touched their peak, and then they are actually slope is coming down, flattening, curve is flattening. India, luckily, we could cut down our peak at the middle, and we are now entering into the flattening of the curve. But whatever the bending or flattening you call it, it will take some time. It will also need some numbers for it to flatten up. So we can expect to see some more numbers coming in before you think of flattening. So as far as the public is concerned, because I've been told that some of the business owners, they are attending this meeting. This are zero value, or what we call it. It means each infected person, one sick person, in his time of the disease, before either he gets better or before he dies, how many people will he expose to? Will he infect in his due course of time? If you look into that, Ebola is one disease which was very important in America. Each person infects 2 people. HIV, each person infects 4 people. SARS, each person infects 4 people. And mumps, each person infects 10 people. Measles, all these things are in childhood, children get these boils kind of stuff. Amma they call it. So these things actually they infect, each person infects 10 people each time. Whereas COVID is not that bad. The COVID patient infects 4 patients, 4 healthy people in his time period of his disease. So how does it matter to us? This is the probably this is a very important slide for us, because the only difference between COVID and other viruses is COVID is not a very dangerous virus. It is not a highly virulent. Virulent means killing virus. It is like any other simpler, viruses which we have seen before. But the only difference is it has got a very high attack rate. Attack rate means if you expose 100 people, how many people it can spread to? That is the point. If you look at HIV, it affects only when the blood mixes. Okay, whereas hepatitis only when the blood mixes. Whereas COVID is not like that. COVID spreads through, cough. Either we call them aerosols, cough, sneezing, or if you touch the secretions, and then even if you touch some object which has got the virus on it, and you take it to your nose or mouth, you can get affected. So the attack rate of COVID is extremely high. 30% is the highest known attack rate in the most of the bacteria and viruses. Second thing is, at least one person can affect 4 people in his time period of the disease. So that is the reason why why we went for lockdown is because of this. India has around 130 crores of population. If you look at an attack rate of 30%, which means approximately 40 crore people would get affected if you had not followed the lockdown. You just imagine every week time, one person affecting 4 people. 4 people next time affect 16. 16 will affect another 4. That is when, by around, you may calculate, by around 3 to 4 months time, almost the entire population will get affected. Which means with an attack rate of 30 and 40 crore people getting affected, your case fatality rate of 7%, that is the world's average, you are expecting around 2 crore 80 lakhs deaths in India. So that is the reason why we have gone for lockdown, to cut down that. That is what is called flattening the curve. So fortunately, also the government decisions or the public's cooperation, also the nature's, I would say, even the nature has been very kind enough for Indians. Probably some people say because of heat, which is partially true, and because of our lifestyle, BCG vaccination. There are many philosophies coming up right now, speculations. Whatever it is, our numbers are less, our death rate is less, our people are much more stable, and if we continue the lockdown, we are hoping to have a better control of the problem. Again, even if you look at the death rate, it is only for people elderly with a pre-existing heart brain problem or cancer or diabetes, or people with low immunity will get affected, not the healthy people. So how does it matter to us? Currently we are scared, we are psychologically, emotionally, we are stressed out. Almost every Indian is every world, every human being is stressed out right now, because no one knows when you would get the COVID infection and what will happen to you. Because they asked me to talk about the business perspective also. If you have an organization of 1,000 employees, you put the same scenario of Indian scenario to your organization also. If there is no lockdown, and as long as there is no treatment available, for example, if they open up in the month of May or June, and you have 1,000 employees who are coming for the office or the workstation to work, you can expect the same statistics what was applied to India. Like approximately 300 people will get affected in the next 6 months time, and you can expect 20 deaths in your total 1,000 employees approximately. So what is the loss for an organization? All these 300 people need at least 30 days of off from work, should be quarantined. That is equal to 9,000 working days. And if a group of other people also get affected with these people, they also need quarantine. So that includes 14 days of quarantine. So you may calculate your work loss based on that. So this is the scenario. As I said, of course, I told that this is not that bad. It is a common virus. Only difference is it has got a higher attack rate. But for us, we are stuck now. When should we open up? When should we go out and work? As I said, there is no need to worry when you are sitting here. Definitely no. As long as you are locked down, or when you start getting the treatment available, until that time we are safe. But what should we do when we are locked down here? Looking at the data, looking at the psychological impact that every message on the social media creating on us. So what is the solution for this? Or is there something that we can do? Probably this is where my area of interest, my research, our team's research will come into picture. Nature, our Lord, our God has been very kind. They want us to do only this. In fact, this is the only thing that you can follow in this period, which can have a tremendous benefit from the current crisis. I told you already that the people with impaired immunity and people with pre-existing problems and people who are elderly and people who have had a pre-existing problem which was not under clear-cut control are the people at highest risk of COVID. I must say that at least in the next 1 year's time, every one of us will get exposed to COVID. It is not possible like this unless you shut down yourself or shut off yourself from external world. If you are working outside, we will have to some time in the next 1 year time get exposed to this. If that happens before after the treatment comes or vaccine comes, is one different story. But before it comes, as I said, we must be prepared inside our body and mind to fight, to survive from its effects. So what can we do in this aspect? As I said, a regular exercise, healthy eating habits, plenty of hydration, and definitely stress reduction, which are part and parcel of a healthy life, are the things which must be followed by us at this point of time. So because this today's topic is about stress, I would like to draw your attention on very, very important aspects. What happens if you keep on following the numbers in in the media, that where and all people are coming, where and all the numbers are increasing, and you make yourself under stress, you emotionally you are stressed out. Apart from just having some disturbance in mind, is that going to affect our overall body? Is the actual topic for today. So what is stress? Stress is nothing but a burden, emotional burden. So emotions do have a role. They should not cross their weight. So if you give more weightage to the emotions and it becomes a burden, then what will happen to us? So the basic explanation for stress is very simple scientifically. Unregulated mind creates stress. So to get rid of stress, you have to regulate your mind. That is a simple solution for stress. What is the definition of stress? It is nothing but wear and tear of our mind when we get exposed to changing emotional environments. For example, if you travel outside, on a bike in the outside in summer in India, for example, so you are exposed to the rusty wind, harsh wind and the dust outside. That is what creates wear and tear on our body. So that is physical stress. When you drive your vehicle, wear and tear of the vehicle creates your tires to get wore off. So that is that is called the stress on the system or the machinery. Similarly, when the mind gets exposed to a changing emotional environment, that also creates stress. But whether you really get into stress or not is exactly in our hands, because most of the stress that we experience is self-generated. That is what exactly is happening here in our current scenario. We chase the social media, we chase the news without proper understanding and without proper clarity on the numbers. Then we get into stress. So does it have any side effects? That is the point. In medicine, there is a word called fight or flight response. When any person gets into stress, for example, you are exposed to a tiger. Just imagine, I know you are all sitting comfortably in your houses and then you are attending this through your laptops. Imagine suddenly you confront a tiger in your room. What will happen? Your heart rate rises, your breath rate rises, your blood pressure rises, and your electrical activity in the heart rises, and most importantly, sugar levels in the blood rises, because you need energy at that point of time to combat. These are all called fight or flight response, which are a natural responses in body. So whenever people get exposed to stress, these are the changes that happen in the body. First point is saliva gets reduced, so mouth becomes dry. That is why when we are in tension, mouth becomes dry. That is one single most important risk factor for COVID to spread into the body. That is why the recommendation says keep drinking water, because in a warm water, warm atmosphere environment, COVID may not live longer. So that is one very important thing. Next, what happens to heart? The heartbeat increases and blood pressure increases. We have seen in our risk factors that people with high blood pressure are the most vulnerable group in case of COVID. Okay, and what happens to lungs? Your breath rate rises. These are the, so if you have a patient with pre-existing lung problem, he will go into breathing difficulty. So these are the people who cannot tolerate COVID infection. See, COVID stays for 2 weeks and then it goes. It is all about whether you can survive in this 2 to 3 weeks time or not. That matters. If your system is not ready to combat, already it is compromised, then this is the problem. If the blood pressure in the brain is high, that is when you get stroke, paralysis. So again, that causes a threat or a risk factor for COVID mortality. So Herbert Benson is a physiologist who explained something called as relaxation response. He said that if you meditate, if you keep yourself calm and relaxed, there is something called as relaxation response, which is exactly opposite to stress response. What we have seen just now is a stress response. So in relaxation response, heart rate comes down, respiratory rate comes down, blood pressure gets stabilized, sugar levels get stabilized. So by reducing stress from meditation, so these are the benefits that we can get out of it. This is a very important article. I think everyone should, if you get it online, please read through it. Extremely important article, which says that emotional stress impairs immunity. Very, very important. We never see, people think that, if you want me single most important point for today's session, it is this: emotional imbalance or emotional stress is not just related to mind as we think of. It has got several physical side effects, and these physical side effects are the risk factors for COVID mortality. So emotional stress reduces immunity. Similarly, if you do meditation regularly, it improves immunity. That is why people with immunity problems, like we call them autoimmune problems, like rheumatoid arthritis, things like that, for them, we, along with medical management, we also suggest them to do meditation, so that their number of drugs requirement will come down. This is one study we did it in the year of 2017, where we wanted to compare the blood pressure and heart rate variations among people who are practicing meditation and who are not. So surprisingly, when we checked the levels of these things, people who have been regularly meditating their heart rate and blood pressure has been under control, compared to people who are not doing it. It is age matched control. If I take 60-year-old man, 10 people who have been meditating, same 60-year-old men, 10 people who have not been meditating, the people who have been meditating, their average heart rate has been lower. Their average blood pressure has been lower compared to these people. Again, the uncontrolled blood pressure is one of the risk factors in people with COVID infection. This study we have done again in 2017 across several colleges in Chennai. We wanted to check the stress levels of people, of college students across several arts and science colleges. We have taken almost 1,000 college students, and we have given them 3 sessions of meditation sessions where we checked their stress levels before and after the 3 sessions. We found out that the level of tension, worries, and work pressure, all these things have come down in just 3 days of practice of meditation in those students. As I told before, tension, worries are the basic first step of things for the blood pressure and blood sugar to rise. So if you can control these things, so everything will fall in place. And the most important thing is sleep. If you brood over the unnecessary things, okay, because the problem is many people, if you are busy in your work, regular work, your mind will be on the work. Currently, we are at home. We have 2 problems. One, something which is there as a threat, like a tiger, you are worried about it. If you think a tiger is waiting outside your house and you have closed your house, everybody is worried like that. Anytime it can come inside and it can kill me. That is one worry. Second worry is, what is going to happen to me? What is going to happen to my work, or my job, or my company, or my organization? How am I going to handle this in future? So these are the 2 worries where we are completely, in the lockdown situation, we are into this. Most of us, at least. I am not saying it is universal phenomenon. Most of the people. So because of that, number 1, stress is increasing. Number 2, sleep might get disturbed because lack of work and lack of exercise, sleep will be disturbed. So if the sleep is disturbed, what is the problem? So a good sleep always stabilizes blood sugar. It reduces stress. It builds muscles. Of course, it makes person happier, and it actually reduces weight. It controls weight. Now, this is one study we have, evaluated several, almost 500 different studies happened on sleep. So this is what we found out. There is no point in lying down in bed and thinking that I am sleeping. The quality of sleep should be of good quality. Without that, there is no point in spending time in bed thinking that you have slept well. If there is a disturbed sleep, it will have its own consequences. A disturbed sleep increases stress, increases blood pressure, increases blood sugar, and it can lead to several so-called metabolic problems. And these are the problems which are the most important risk factors in COVID mortality. So in people who have been meditating, you see the brain electronic scan of the brain. Before you see the electrical activity, each color depicts different levels of vibrations, different levels of voltage in electrical activity. Whereas after 10 minutes after that, you see there is harmonious electrical activity. So I don't need to ask you a question that which brain sleeps better. The one without much disturbing electrical activity will get a better sleep. A better sleep is linked to better stress management, better stabilization of blood pressure and blood sugar, better stabilization of your baseline heart problem, or lung problem, or brain problem, and better immunity and better protection in COVID times. So if you ask me, we directly recommend people whenever they come to us, saying I have sleep disturbance. First intervention we suggest them is first start meditation. Then see if you can get some control with meditation, its job is done. You don't need any other interventions. So these are some statistics which said what are the benefits of meditation. You see, those who meditate, they have reduced 87% reduced chance of heart disease. I want you to recollect that in my previous slides, it showed that heart disease and blood pressure have been the topmost risk factors in patients who died of COVID. Second thing, younger age has been a protective factor, elderly age has been a risk factor. You see here, people who meditate and who use relaxation techniques, they are physiologically younger by 10 to 15 years of age. As I said before, elderly age has been a risk factor for COVID. So now you will understand what are the things that we exactly to follow. Is there any solution, or are there any things that we should follow? There are certain things that can modify the current process. There are certain things which can help us to survive the current problem, and they are these. Number one, until treatment is available, of course we have to save ourselves. Younger age, we can't become younger. Okay, that is one thing which is non-modifiable risk factor. Improve immunity. How do you improve immunity? Well, by diet as well as by mental, emotional balance. Optimal control of other diseases by medical management. Again, what is in your hands, definitely in your hands, is emotional stabilization and stress management. So this is my last slide. That if there are any survival rules, I would like to place them as 6 survival rules as the take-home points for today's meeting. Number 1 is social distancing, of course, which everyone knows. Stay at home as long as it is, even after lockdown is over, better is as long as possible stay at home. This will be new normal in future. Wear mask as long as possible, as as much as possible, and definitely hand hygiene. Next, second is tight control of other problems. You can't get rid of problems, right? Other diseases. Like if I have been a diabetic patient or a blood pressure patient, I cannot suddenly get rid of it, no, but I can tightly control my problem. Okay. Number 3, regular physical exercise. Instead of sitting like a couch potatoes and watching TV all the time, getting all the unnecessary information dumped, and then worried about that. Better thing is walk around, move around, and do some regular physical exercise. Next, immunity boosting diet. We know, I mean, this topic is not for that. There are certain diets, vitamin rich diets and elemental rich diets which can boost, protect our immunity. So such things must be followed. Definitely meditation, which is free of cost, which helps us to control our stress. Even I manage patients, I go for rounds in COVID unit. I'm just coming from that, from my hospital after rounds. So even there we recommend people to do that, and also I myself, I practice that to keep myself on the track without unnecessary deviations. And of course, people who are having companies or organizations, workplace preparedness is something which will become a new normal, which probably you need to be aware of. Since it is not the agenda of today's talk, within half an hour we cannot cover all these things. I've just listed it. Maybe when time permits, we can talk about it later. Sir, have I completed within the timeline, sir?
Yes. So one thing we wanted to do, Dr. Rajesh, to have a meditation session for everyone to experience the what you spoke about. I sincerely hope it's okay if we exceeded this session by 10 minutes. Saurav, is it okay? Can we exceed it by a few minutes? Because people can experience meditation.
Yes, sir. It shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Please.
So how many people are there, sir, currently?
About 65 participants total.
Good. All the people, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, my humble request is keep your earphones on and kindly let us go through a brief session of meditation. It may not take more than 15-20 minutes. So I would request you to close your eyes now and then listen to what I am going to say. So, so we would like to give you an experience of relaxation. how it appears, how it looks like, and how it experiences like. Okay. So what we are going to do right now is to relax our body completely from bottom to top. You may do it, at your comfortable time, free time at home, anytime, maybe in the morning or evening, whenever you want. So what you need to do is currently sit relaxed, lean back, absolutely relaxed. If there are anybody in the room, please inform them not to disturb you now for the next 15 to 20 minutes. That's all. Okay. Okay. Now, when you sit back and relax, so gently close your eyes and feel your body once. Okay, just feel your body, and then gently take your attention to your toes, feet. From there, we are going to begin the relaxation. Once the relaxation reaches the total body, and then I will ask you to bring your attention gently to your heart. Then I will ask you to feel your heartbeat, and that is where we are going to keep our attention for some time. Okay, let us begin now. Gently close your eyes, sit relaxed. Wiggle your toes. Feel the relaxing waves passing from the Mother Earth, which are gently entering into your body through your feet, soles, and then they are passing upwards, entering your body and relaxing your body completely. As they are entering your soles, feel your soles relaxed. Feel your both feet, ankles, and calf muscles getting relaxed. Your knee joints are getting relaxed. As these waves are slowly passing upwards, your thighs, your bottom, and your hips are getting relaxed. Feel both the lower limbs getting relaxed completely. Any pressure in your legs is melting away. As the waves are passing upwards, relax your back. Relax your entire back. Feel any pressure anywhere in the back melting away. Relax your abdomen. Relax your chest. Relax your shoulders. Feel any pressure in the shoulders is melting away. Relax your upper arms, elbows, forearms, and palms all the way until the fingertips. Your both upper limbs are getting relaxed completely. Any pressure anywhere is gently getting melted away. Relax your neck. All your neck muscles are relaxing. Relax your throat. Relax your chin. Relax your jaws. Relax your eyes, nose, lips, mouth, ears. Relax your entire face. Relax your entire head and brain. Relax your entire body from tip to toe. From top of your head till the tip of your toe is completely relaxed. Every cell in your body is completely relaxed. Gently move your attention towards your heart. Feel the heartbeat. When every cell in the body is completely relaxed, you can feel the gentle heartbeat. Gently move your attention towards your heartbeat. Give a gentle supposition that there is divine light present in your heart. Give a gentle supposition that there is divine light present in your heart. Do not try to visualize any light there, it's only a feeling. A gentle supposition that there is divine light present in your heart. Think that it is attracting your attention. Your entire system is completely relaxed now, and your mind stopped wandering outside. Instead, it is drawn inside onto your heart, into your heart, and it is getting attracted by the divine light present in your heart. Keep your attention on this for another 10 minutes. If your mind wanders outside, gently bring it back and connect it with this thought. We are going to meditate on this thought now, thinking that there is divine light present in my heart. Please start meditation.
You can gently open your eyes. You can just stay absorbed in the condition for a few moments. Saurabh, do you want to open the floor for any questions for Dr. Amarnath?
Sure, sir. We can do that. So participants, if we had any questions, you can either type it down in the chat box, or we can have you can raise your hands and I can unmute you for the question.
So while you are pondering over any questions you may have, just want to direct you to our website. It's called heartfulness.org. Please visit that website if you are interested in organizing meditation sessions, or you can reach out to me. I'm a member here, and we'll be happy to conduct. We do conduct heartfulness meditation sessions in corporates and organizations. Don't worry about the size of your organization. We can also do it, remotely. We could do it over the, video conference for your employees. And as Dr. Amarnath mentioned, there are benefits. One thing that gets impacted in the organizations under current circumstances because of stress is your creativity comes down. So when you practice heartfulness meditation and you practice relaxation, in chances are that your team could become creative again. So that's a important point. So feel free to reach out to us in case you are interested in organizing for heartfulness meditation sessions in your organizations, and it's free of cost. We don't charge anything. There's no catch. Go ahead. Any questions? Please feel free to ask.
So there is this one question from Mr. Rajagopal.
Yeah.
He asked, how many hours is a good sleep, is his question. How many hours should make a good sleep?
Minimum of 6 hours.
Done, sir. I don't think we have any more questions. So we're getting a lot of feedbacks actually. All of our participants are very thankful for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
So, it was an eye-opener for a lot of them because, with the rumors and all spreading around now, I think it was a much-needed session for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity for me also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vijay, for connecting us with Dr. Raja and making the show happen. From the Secretariat and from the Tai Chennai members and the participants today, I would like to thank you all. So, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Amarnath. Thank you, everybody.